Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and today I want to play with the Saguaro Sunset box. Now I have plenty to play with, and I'm just going to start from scratch because I have no idea what I want to work with. However, I am thinking of a multi-strand necklace and then using these for to hold different strands. I forgot the word. I don't even care. It's been a long day. Okay, so I pulled some antique copper spacer beads from my stash, and so I have a good stash. I like to use these boxes for my stash too. So I have all of my copper spacers in this box, so I have a lot to choose from. And, I might use some pieces from this, we'll see what we can use. So I have a lot of good options. So I'm just going to put this to the side, and I'll break into it later if I need to. So I'm thinking about what kind of clasp I could use. And for a necklace, I like to keep it fairly simple. So I've got some kind of larger lobster claws here, but I'm going to do a multi-strand necklace. So let's see. I guess I'll get an antique. I got a fairly good size one here, just an antique copper lobster claw. I'm just gathering as I go. And then I've got some, just some antique copper jump rings here in a bag. And then I've got my chain. So what I'm thinking is, now I like to add beads to chain. So I may do the strands and then do the chain going this way. But I may also do beads here and then a strand. So I have to figure out how much I have to work with. So I was thinking, now when Lauren Fenty lays out her beads and she throws her strands down, and I'm always looking at it saying, well, multi-strand necklace with multi-beads would be really cool. So that's what I'm thinking for today. And I'm just going to get out a handful of jump rings just to have them on the side. That's probably all I need. So these would make good, like strand separators, because you got a pretty good area right here to work with. And, I can just fit the jump rings right over them. So I guess the first thing I'm going to need is some tiger tail. So bear with me 1 second. Just wrapping up some wire I had out. Okay, so I got a good piece of tiger tail here. Needs a little bit of straightening, if you can see it. Okay, so another thing I'm gonna need are my crimps. So I'm gonna go with my standard. This is my crimp bead box. Fun, huh? So I've got I got a good assortment of copper. So I've got my, looks like these are single loop bead caps or bead covers. So I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna grab my little scoop and get a few of them out. I try to keep them sorted as I go, and not always easy. Okay, and then as far as crimp tubes, the color doesn't really matter because they're going to get hidden. So I'm just going to move this back a little bit, and I'm going to put covers here, crimp tubes here, just make sure I got plenty out. And I think I'm good there. I got plenty to work with because I'm going to do multi-strands anyway. Okay. So I'm undecided how I'm going to lay it out, but I guess my first strand is going to be the thickest strand. So I'm going to get out a bunch of these. I guess I'm going to use my scoop here. I'm really just improvising. I have no idea what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to have fun doing it anyway. Okay. So I have no idea how long of a strand I would start off with, but it's definitely going to be fairly good size. You know, everything matters in the front, and I like to conserve beads a little bit, so, you know, I don't really want to, I want to have my beads in the front, but it's going to be more chain going around the neck, because, you know, that part doesn't really show anyway. You don't always have to have beads going all the way around your neck and using a ton of beads. That's just my philosophy and the way I work. These are small jump rings, but I'm gonna throw these over to the side here. And I'm improvising, so I'm gonna get a few more out. I think that's plenty for starters, but I'm actually going to spread it out just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I have some copper size 11 seed beads. So these are, what are these? They're like a nice muted copper. So I really like those. So I think I'm going to put one of those in between each one. It's going to be hard to string a little bit, but just for a very, very subtle effect to keep that copper in there. Now I'm going to take my wire and, of course, getting my tools out. So I like my needle nose pliers. And I'm going to take one of my crimp covers and I'm going to open it up. That way you can reach in. And by the way, if you're old like me and you find it hard to see the little stuff, get you a pair of super glasses. These things are amazing. I just clip them onto my other glasses and I can see perfectly. I think these are 2.5x, something like that. I prefer 5x, to be honest with you, but these work pretty well. So the only thing you can't use them on is coated glasses. So if you have coated glasses, don't use them. But I also have a magnifying glass with a light on it that I like too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my crimp bead on and loop back through, and you've seen me do this before. So I'm more just creating than doing a tutorial, but I just thought I'd have you guys along with me to see what I'm doing. Okay, so pull that tight as I can and squish. Okay, now I'm going to try and see if my medium crimp covers will close it easily. Let's see, I prefer the notch to be on top though. So let's see. Okay, so I'm just messing with it right now to see if I can get it to crimp in. I don't always have good luck with crimp pliers, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try. Okay, that did bend in. Alright, so it bent in half, so I'm good with that. Okay, and let's see. Of course, I've got my cutters, so I'm gonna do that as close as I can to the edge. Let's use that for my scrap pile there. Okay, so I'm just going to bend this, bring it in. It's easier if they have the dual loops on them, but I couldn't get them. I tried though. But these work just as well. You just kind of, you know, make sure everything's together and nice and neat, and you got an end. So the easy part from here, I'm just going to, let's see, start with, I'm going to use the seed beads because I like the shine on them. I think they're pretty. These are Preciosa, I think, yeah. Because Preciosa are a little bit smaller. So I just want a little subtle pattern, just every other one. I'm not going to do anything fancy. And I'm not going to really mix the beads up. I'm going to kind of use the beads on their own individual strands, but I'm mixing the strands. So that is my game plan. This is also an exercise on how to use some of the different findings. Like this one, you know, for instance, it's totally different than what I'm used to. So I'm kind of going outside the box on that and just seeing what I can make with it. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Perfect. Okay. So next I'm going to grab a bead cap and open it up as usual. And run my wire through. So this is a piece of random wire. I was going to make a necklace and then, you know, I got sidetracked, of course. So, you know, I had this long piece and then I got this one, so I can just, you know, have one long piece and just cut it where I need and, you know, use new pieces. So let's see. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but found the crimp bead. Okay, and I like to curl my work just so it'll lay perfectly whenever I get it crimped and it won't be too tight. If you try to do it straight, it tends to make the necklace too tight, you know, if you pull too hard, and then you don't have any give. And then it lays funny, so that's why I roll it up. And then I can bring this down to the edge and not worry about it at all. Just like so. So even if there's a little bit of playroom, it'll be all right. But I am going to bring it up just a little bit more, and as close to that as I can, and pull it. Okay, perfect. So I've got a little bit of space there, but when you curl it, it gives you that extra room, so it works out pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to squish that. And I'm going to see if I can pull this in half. Let's see. So I'm trying to attempt to crimp it properly. See, I guess if I do it this way, it might be better. Okay, so try not to get my crimp cover in there. I can't guarantee this will work, but you don't know until you try. As long as you can get the crimp cover out of the way. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think I got it. And I think I opened it back up again. So I probably did mess up a little bit, but as long as it doesn't break and come off, I'm okay. So let's see. And I can test it just by squishing it and feeling it. It's gonna go on the inside anyway, so it'll hold. That's the main part. Is it gonna hold? Test and test again. Okay, so I'm gonna close the crimp cover over it. With my fingers, I guess. Let's see. That got kind of bent. Okay. So if I hold it by this, then I can squeeze that shut. And I seem to be doing okay with that. Okay, and then the loop, just straighten up. And so see, when you straighten it out, it's not loose. You know, you had a little bit of give, but once you straighten it up, then it's just right. So I've got my bell in between here, fits perfectly, and I'm happy with that. So next, what I'm going to attempt to do, and as I've learned, I've got to do this with the big pliers, the flat nose, to open it, because otherwise I throw jump rings across the room and then they somehow end up in my living room rug. I have no idea how that happens. Okay, so I'm going to put that here. Loop that, or oh, this is going to work. This is going to work. Okay. Squish it together. Okay. Line it up. That is so perfect. I love how these are double-sided, so you can't really mess them up. Okay, so open that up. Oh yeah, insert the loop and squish them together. That's working out. I got a little bit of a raised edge there, so I'm just going to take my needle nose and flatten it. Okay, so far, so good. Look at that. Okay. Okay, and next, I guess I'm going to work with these. I think that would be a good next strand, and a pop of color. Definitely a good contrast. I'm going to pull out a few of these. I have no idea how many I'm going to need, but doesn't matter. Okay, so as long as this is long enough for, you know, the next strand, I'm cool with it. Okay, so adding another crimp bead. I'm not going to use my crimp tool this time because I'm just not that good at it, but it's all right. I'm going to try to do this left-handed. Why? Just because that's the hand I have it in. Okay. I'm going to go around. I'm just going to do this video in full as much as I can fit onto my camera. Okay. I don't like to leave more than a ½ inch here. You know, it's going to get cut off anyway, so I don't like a lot of waste. But I'm going to cut that close. And then close her up. So I'm going to hold it here. Oops. Definitely don't want to break it. That would be annoying. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Okay. So if you hold one side and then bring the other side in, it helps. So just want to make sure everything's tucked in, nothing's sticking out. And that's perfect. Okay. So what am I going to fit in between these beads? I guess I'll use the antique copper spacers. They're a little bit larger, but that's okay. I'm just going for an effect here. I think the crystal beads just kind of stand on their own. I don't really have anything that I could put in between them. I kind of want to use those on their own strand maybe. And technically I could use those if I wanted to. I could try it out and see if I like it. But they are stone crystal versus glass. They're the same size. I think I'm just going to use my spacers for now. So I'm just going to put a few over here and just keep going. Picking them up can take a while. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. I think my wire's bent. I'm going to trim it back just at the bend so I won't have a bend in it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Kind of gives a very antique look. So I'm just going to start by adding random beads. So I'm just going to, you know, kind of separate the colors, but still pretty random. So let's see. There's 5 beads there. And let's see. I'm going to add 10 beads. And then I might add some of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So what if, ooh, that's gonna look good. So I'm gonna put 10, and then I'm gonna put one of these, one of these, they have a little corn husk in them. So sometimes they kind of fall out. Okay. Oh yeah, I like that. So let's just keep adding 10 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Then I'm going to add a spacer. One of these. See, they got little corn husk in them, so it'll fall out, but sometimes it kind of blocks the holes. So I just have to kind of work my wire in there until I can get it out. So let's see what that looks like together. Ooh, I love it. So I can do like 3 sets or 5 sets of 10. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is consider how long of a chain I want and how long I want my necklace to be, because I'm going to keep it pretty simple at the top. So I'm just going to attach the chain. And I wonder if this is wide enough for my liking. It's kind of thin. You know, I'm going to check my chain and just see if I have anything else fatter. I kind of want a little bit fatter of a chain, so let's see. I'm standing up and I'm getting my chain box out. And oh yeah, I got some chain. Okay. And I think I just found the perfect chain. So I have a nice curved chain here. I have a, looks like a Figaro chain there. Rollo chain. Bingo, that's it. This box is super heavy. So I have a nice thick Rollo chain here, which I absolutely love. And so I'm gonna, instead of measuring, I'm gonna put it at my neck and I'm going to position it to where I want my my links here to start, and that'll determine the length of my necklace. Now I don't like choker length, you know, I like my necklaces to hang down a little bit. So I've come to about here, which I'm happy with. So I'm going to trim that. I'll stick that in there for later. Okay, so from here, of course, I'm going to have to put the jump ring on. I mean the lobster claw. So I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm just going to find a nice happy place here. And let's see, about right there. That's good. I think the super glasses double as goggles, just in case. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna love this. I think I'm excited to be finishing this up. So I'm gonna open my jump ring. And I'm gonna put this on this end. In hopes it'll go on there smoothly. Let's see. Okay, there we go. And always open side to side and close side to side. And then I'm just going to flatten the top here just to make sure. Of course, got to be able to get in there, but I just want any parts sticking up. Perfect. Okay. This is it's going to be something. This is a statement piece. And I'm opening this up a little bit wider than usual, just so I can make sure to get it in the loop here. Okay. Now I'm going to use my wide nose pliers. And the beauty is I can look over here and up close so I can see it. I know this is a long video, but you know what? It's kind of fun and relaxing. Especially after a long day of day job and, you know, you need to wind down a little bit. It's after dinner. I want to make sure those go together exactly. Let's see, still sticking up a little bit. So you got to work with it. Flatten it all out. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. At the end of the video, of course, I'm going to show you the final product. Now, first thing, when you have a lobster claw, make sure it opens first. Okay. So, we're going to put one on one side, and I like to put my clasp on the, since I'm right-handed, on the right side of my necklace when wearing it. And that's just because I'm right-handed and I couldn't close the clasp left-handed to save my life. I need to trim that piece off. I don't want it to fall off and go bye-bye. Okay. Snagging the chain. Okay, it doesn't matter. I guess I'm just going to trim this one off. And then it'll all be even, because that piece will come off. Okay, perfect. Do what you gotta do. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on and that on. Okay, squeezing it. I just want to make sure that the top is aligned so it won't snag anything. So you can feel it with your fingers. Just do it like that. If you don't feel anything, you did it right. Okay, and last but not least, I'm hoping this jump ring will be big enough. If not, I'll just get another one, but in a bigger size. Actually, I think I will. And that's mainly because, you know, I just need room to put that in, and, you know, when you're old, you already struggle with it a little bit, so, hey, might as well make it easy, right? So, I'm going to squeeze that together. Did you hear that jump? That's why they're called jump rings. You hear that little pop. Then I'm just going to straighten that up. Okay. So I got to make sure it's all together here. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. So, I'm going to put my jump rings away right quick. I guess I'll put a few in there. Don't worry about it. I'll sort them later. Okay, so here we have a necklace. This makes the perfect link right here. So I could put 4 strands on there, and you could probably put 5 on there if you really wanted to. I think it's just gorgeous. I'm loving this. So I'm going to go try it on, and we'll see what it looks like, and I'll take a photo of it later so you can see what it looks like. And, well, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. Make creativity be your guide.